My wonderful wife suggested, why don't we cycle from Newcastle to Edinburgh?
Which is around 200 miles. Quite daunting, never done anything like that before.
So we decided to do it. So we got our bikes, got on a train, got to Newcastle.
On the Saturday we went to see
Newcastle Castle.
Across one of the bridges.
I always, obviously think that the Newcastle Bridge looks like the Sydney Harbour Bridge, because it is, basically. There's like the rail bridge and there's the road bridge and then there's like the swing bridge.
Especially the Millennium Bridge. Millennium Bridge was really great.
That was amazing.
And we went to the Stage, which is this amazing glass building.
They've got like concert halls and things like that and performances and stuff inside. But they've got this old flour mill called the Baltic,
which I just think is one of the best modern art galleries I've been to. It was really, really amazing, and I didn't really expect any of this to be in Newcastle.
We went up in the lift there and we looked at lots of cool stuff. And they had like a viewing box that had amazing views out all over the River Tyne. It was great.
What do you have to report?
So the next day we started to have a big long journey.
Quite nervous about setting off and doing that, especially as our first day. We had 47 miles to go.
Basically we cycled from Newcastle to Tynemouth. I mean that was only 10 miles, but it was great just to get to sea and see the lighthouses. There was a castle out there again, which was nice. And we started up the coast and actually it was really flat and quite easy going. We made quite a long way up the coast to a place called Newbiggin by the Sea. It was just the nicest, most beautiful beach, the lovely promenade, and we cycled down there and had a lovely lunch there. And we just kept going up until we got to Warkworth.
And we were cycling along and we could see the castle in the distance. And we were just like, oh yes. I was just absolutely exhausted.
Perfect place to stop for the first night, and place for Esther to recuperate because unfortunately she'd banged her knee.
I was going down the cycle path and there was a sign and I turned to look at it and didn't see that was a big bollard in front of me, and I hit it and just fell off, and it was just hurt so much. I'm really, really tired and I've got a really bad knee.
Ouch.
So that was the first day, and then we had to get up and do it all over again the next day.
We cycled inland to a place called Edinburgh. That was the first time that we came across hills.
And that was like really hard going, and I managed to sprain my upper knee. So I now have two bad knees.
That was a big hill.
Really tiring. My legs have gone to jelly.
Edinburgh was famous for a massive castle.
Where they filmed Blackadder, that's where they filmed Harry Potter. That's where we went to the place where Harry Potter had his first flying lesson.
Then we pushed on up the coast.
Yay!
And we saw some other castles.
I just had an alfresco wee watching a castle in the distance. It was brilliant.
And had lunch by the sea, which was nice. And then we came to Edinburgh Castle. We've seen a lot of castles. Edinburgh was an amazing castle.
Edinburgh Castle was probably my favourite castle.
We just had this wonderful approach down a hill.
Edinburgh Castle! We just saw Edinburgh Castle and I was just like, yay!
Then we went down to the beach.
Yeah, so we had a lovely walk along the beautiful white sand beach, the castle in the background. And
We went for a little dip in the North Sea.
oh my goodness! But that was rather abruptly ended.
Ow! Ow! Okay. Ow!
My feet hurt.
It's quite cold in the North Sea.
So day 3 of cycling. We had planned to drop by an island called Holy Island, but actually we got up close to it, and there's a causeway that goes out to Holy Island because it's tidal, and actually some pensioners got caught there just the other day.
Humber Coast Guard, Sea Hounds mobile.
We'll do a double lift for her, and then I'll go straight down and recover him. Okay, we'll start moving him.
Poor guys, they got flooded and had to be winched out by helicopter.
But we knew rain was coming in, so we just decided to hotfoot it to Berwick-upon-Tweed. We got to the 100-mile mark along these cliffs and it started raining and we could see Berwick in the distance, and I think that was probably one of my favourite points, was going along that cliff.
It's Berwick.
Cycling past the 100-mile point.
It was a real feeling of achievement.
And so we cycled down into Berwick.
Berwick's a fascinating town. It was a border town between Scotland and England. It was fought over to the point where it was absolutely levelled at one point, and what had been like the premier town in Scotland was actually just reduced to nothing, a small fishing village.
There's something slightly depressing about it. I think it kind of seen better days.
Then we pushed on upwards to Scotland.
And we stopped off at Dunbar, which was windy. And we had a lunch by the cliff tops.
Looking out over the remains of Dunbar Castle, which there really wasn't much left of. We'd had really good weather up until that point, but just as we were starting to go into North Berwick, it started to rain.
Right, let's go.
This is some of the first rain we've had, and it's actually starting to fall quite hard. Okay.
But we pushed on through that, and then we had this approach into North Berwick.
We're finally here, North Berwick! Crikey! And it's still raining!
And my knees were just absolutely killing me, so I was very glad to get there. And then we came into North Berwick.
And did a spa and massage at a place overlooking a golf links and several islands in the Firth of Forth.
And this is basically was our little treat because we've cycled 140 miles by this point. So it was time to take a day off.
So we went to the Seabird Centre, which didn't sound that exciting, but it was actually amazing because what they've done is they've put cameras on these islands and you can control the cameras. And we saw puffins, then we saw gannets, and we saw thousands and thousands of gannets.
And then we had a lovely evening walk along the beach. The beaches up here are just as beautiful as any beaches you find in Thailand or Malaysia, and the sun was just coming down and the whole sky was red. And he's approaching Edinburgh. I don't know where Tony's gone. I think he's left me. Bastard. Woo! There's fell over there. There's off the seat. Yay, it's off its seat. It's Tony having a pee. How you feel?
I feel relieved.
Relieved. Good
Yeah.
piss, was it?
I'm relieved that we're approaching Edinburgh.
We're in Edinburgh! Yay! We made it!
Oh, bit of a mission the last push. We got here just as it started to rain.
Thunder and lightning, so we got here just in time. I'm really excited. We did it! We did 200 miles.